the promised land. Walk the heavenly road. If you walk in with me, then I know you will see that my God, He has given us the authority to trample upon the devil when him try shake we level. And in the name of Jesus, all them demons have to flee as we walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Children, step by step we trot to Zion. Walk the heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight to the promised land. Walk the heavenly road. When you're walking, don't move. When you're walking, don't complain. When you're walking, if the valley get dark with evil, just walk in a faith. Keep your eyes on Jesus, and you will walk on water. In the midst of the perilous storm, you smile in the face of disaster. As we walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Children, step by step we trot to Zion. Walk the heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight to the promised land. Walk the heavenly road. If you walk in with me, then I know you will see that my God.
What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? It is that time. It is that time. It is that time. It's almost 8 o'clock. We're almost at the top of the hour. There you go. There you go. It's the top of the hour. And it is no time.
Walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Children, step by step we trot to Zion. Walk the heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight to the promised land. Walk the heavenly road. See me true, Lord Jesus. See me true. See me true, Lord Jesus. Get it. Oh gosh. Ah yeah. See me true, Lord Jesus. See me true. See me true, Lord Jesus. See me true.
Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. It is 8 o'clock and it is time to begin the show. Time to get the show on the road. It is Thankful Thursday. Your boy Chris Whilby.
If you walk in with me, then I know you will see that my
Another beautiful, beautiful day. Day to be alive, right?
to trample upon the devil when him try shake me level. And in the name of Jesus, all them demons have to flee as we walk the road, the heavenly road.
Let's get the show. Let's get the show. Let's get the show on the road.
The road, walk the heavenly road. Children, step by step we trot to Zion. Walk the heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight to the promised land. Walk the heavenly road. When you're walking, don't move. When you're walking, don't complain. When you're walking, if the valley get dark with evil, just walk in a faith. Keep your eyes on Jesus, and you will walk on water. In the midst of the perilous storm, you smile in the face of disaster. As we walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Children, step by step we trot to Zion. Walk the heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight to the promised land. Walk the heavenly road. If you walk in with me, then I know you will see that my God, He has given us the authority to trample upon the devil when him try shake me level. And in the name of Jesus, all them demons have to flee as we walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Children, step by step we trot to Zion. Walk the heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight to the promised land. Walk the heavenly road. See me true, Lord Jesus. See me true. See me true, Lord Jesus. See me true. For it's a long way to go and a victory to be had. Every hour, see me true. As we walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Children, step by step we trot to Zion. Walk the heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight to the promised land. Walk the heavenly road. If you walk in with me, then I know you will see that my God, He has given us the authority to trample upon the devil when him try shake we level. And See me through, Lord Jesus, see me through. See me through, Lord Jesus, see me through. As we walk the road, the heavenly road, walk the heavenly road. Walk the road, the heavenly road, walk the heavenly road. Children, step by step we trot to Zion. Walk the heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight to the promised land. Walk the heavenly road. If you walk in with me, then I know you will see that my God, He has given us the authority to trample upon the devil. When Him try shake we level. And in the name of Jesus, all them demons have to flee. As we walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Walk the road, the heavenly road. Walk the heavenly road. Children, step by step we trot to Zion. Walk the heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight to the promised land. Walk the heavenly road. When you're walking, don't move. When you're walking, don't complain. When you're walking, if the valley get dark with evil, just walk in a faith. Keep your
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say good evening to you. Good evening. 5 minutes after 8 o'clock, and my name is Chris Whilby. It is a Thankful Thursday show, and I'm going to be here with you until 10 o'clock this evening.
walk the heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight.
As I like to say, it's the beginning of the end of the week. The beginning of the end of the week. Yeah?
My God, He has given
So it is Thursday,
authority to trample upon the devil.
and we made it. We began the week on Sunday,
All them demons
and we went through Monday,
road, the heavenly,
Tuesday,
the heavenly road. Walk,
and we went to Wednesday.
walk the heavenly road. Children, step by
We are now at Thursday.
heavenly road. Out of Egypt straight to the promised land. Walk the heavenly road.
And then tomorrow is the beginning of the week. It is Friday, beginning of the
See me through,
the weekend.
Jesus, see me through. For it's a long way to go. And a big
So we're at that space. We're at that middle ground. Yeah,
see me through.
right there, right in between there.
You walk the road, the heaven.
So I like to call it
Walk the heavenly road. Walk the road, the heavenly,
the beginning
the heavenly road. Children,
of the end
to Zion.
of the week. Right.
The road.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing this evening? You know I'm broadcasting live on Caribbean Vibes Radio. And also, I am being carried this evening on Linkage Radio out of New York City. So I want to say big up to all the Linkage Radio massive. Good evening to you, Linkage Radio. How are you doing? Those of you in the Bronx and the surrounding areas, I want to say good evening to you. Good evening, good evening. Good evening to you, Lady D. Great show as usual. Yeah, thank you for all the information that you put out there every day that you come on, educating the public, yeah, and having the great interaction all around. So yeah, as you may have heard, I am a little bit under the weather, so my voice is a little bit cracked, yeah, not as smooth as it should be, or as always, but we soldier on. So if you hear my voice a little bit strange, yeah, I am nursing something. I don't know what it is, if it's a cold or a sore throat or whatever it is. So I'm working through it, but I am here another Thursday, and you know what, 8:45, we have issues affecting relationship, and this topic here is gonna be very interesting, very interesting one. I am also on my YouTube channel for those of you who are watching me on Facebook, and those of you on the radio at CaribbeanVibesRadio.com and on TuneIn and on Linkage Radio. You can hop on over to my YouTube channel and see if we can get some engagement over there. All right, we would really appreciate that. So right about now, we are going to get the show on the road. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. It is Thursday.
Me true.
Let's get the show on the road. Good evening to you.
And a victory to be every hour, see me true. As we walk the road, the heavenly road, mark the heavenly road. Walk the road, the heavenly road, mark the heavenly road. Step by step, we trust to side.
You're Lord of Lords, Creator of the universe, Omnipotent One. How we praise you. Enable us, dear Lord, to worship you in spirit and in truth. Let the anointing of your spirit be upon us. Anoint us to praise you. Anoint us to worship you. Bless us as we praise your name. Fill us again with your spirit. Fill us again with your power. Let the Holy Ghost rest upon us as we glorify your name today. Bless us as we praise you. We ask that you would teach us to pray as you taught your disciples to pray. Our Father.
He's a mighty God, and we've come to give him praise. Come on, put those hands together like this, everybody. Who do you call? Wonderful Counselor. Oh, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, hallelujah. Tell me, who do you call? That wonderful Counselor.
It is Thankful Thursday on the Big Bad Station, Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, covering the globe like no one else can. When we say we cover the globe, we mean we cover the globe, you know. Yeah. You know, Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, is probably the only station. It's probably the only station that carries almost every other station that you can think of. Yeah? We carry a vast majority of stations from Jamaica to Timbuktu. Wanna know that, right? You gotta check it out. You gotta check it out in the days. You gotta check it out. The day starts in the morning. We start in the mornings as early as 5 o'clock with Daybreak. Right out of Jamaica with NRP Media JA. The Break of Day program. With NRP Media JA. And then Sister Cindy takes over shortly after that. Sister Cindy from GGFM out of St. Anne, Jamaica. And she goes all the way up to 9 o'clock. And then after that, from 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock, you know, I can't stay here and outline the programs to you, so you gotta check it out. You gotta check it out every day, every weekday. 15 minutes after the hour. And I want to give a big shout out to Sister Grace tuning in from over there in Atlanta. How are you doing, Sister Grace? Good to have you on board this evening. Good to have, and as you hop onto my YouTube channel, I'm going to ask you to send me a message so that I can big you up. If it's even to say, how did you, Chris? Yeah, so those of you hopping onto the YouTube channel, good evening to you, and welcome. Say hi to me so I can give you a shout out. All right, good evening, everybody. Sister Yvette, First Lady Yvette, good evening to you. The YouTube channel is Caribbean with a K, Caribbean Vibes, VIBEZ or VIBEZ as we would say in Jamaica. VIBEZ, so it's Caribbean Vibes Radio Network. Caribbean Vibes Radio Network. For those of you on Linkage Radio tuning in for the first time, it is Caribbean Vibes Radio Network.
Will you be ready to say, said one day he's coming back.
And I'm going to invite you to share the link as you come on.
One day he's coming back.
Share the link.
One day he's coming.
Tell your friends that Chris Whilby is live on the radio. Sister Patricia, good evening to you over there in the Bronx. My good friend MS, how are you doing, my brother? Sister Gloria, how are you doing, my sister? Giving a big shout out to my Linkage Radio listeners. And of course, King Ryan, as usual, keeping the place. Why I tell you, what would you do without King Ryan, Lady D? I don't know. What would you do without King Ryan? It is Thankful Thursday. Are you ready? Are you ready? We're ready. We're ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Don't forget to hit that like button on the YouTube channel. The like button on the YouTube channel. Hit that button for me. As you come on, hit that button.
He will. I know he will.
I tell you.
I tell you when Jesus in the best. I know he will. When the tempest
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, so when we in this program, we give you all kinds of information, right? Information that may affect your life. We also mix it up with lots of interesting things. And so this evening in issues affecting relationship, a very interesting one here. And the topic is that he dated a girl online. He says he loves me, but won't stop talking to her. That is the husband saying this to the wife. The wife saying this about the husband, rather. The wife says that he dated a girl online. He says he loves me, but won't stop talking to her. The husband is telling the wife that he won't stop talking to this girl he's talking to online because he doesn't see anything wrong with it. That story coming up at 8:45. So I hope that you will stick around, and after, you can give me your take on the situation. That is issues affecting relationship. We do this every Thursday at 8:45. So I hope that you will stick around for that. The number to call throughout the program is 774-408-8860. 774-408-8860. I'm broadcasting from my studio on Cape Cod.
I'm the billows roar. Ooh, I call on my Lord. You know I will never worry. I will never fret. Jesus never failed me yet.
If Jesus in the vessel,
I know you will. Yes, he will.
Jesus in the vessel,
He will. Put my Jesus.
Jesus in the vessel.
Let him come. Oh, Jesus in my vessel. He will.
To the Lamb, hallelujah, hallelujah, by the blood of Christ.
Peace, be still. Sometimes we rock so. I'd like to take you way down to the Caribbean right now. Are you ready?
You're listening to
Thank you. There are no words to express my praise, but I will lift up my voice and sing from my heart with all of my strength. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah to the Lamb. Hallelujah, hallelujah, by the blood of Christ we stand.
Ambassador Carl. Ambassador Carl. What you do? You good? How is Jacksonville this evening?
Lift your feet and praise.
Jacksonville, Florida.
Blazing the steel. Bring the heat. Stop with the
This is Dr. K. Morris, and you are listening to the Vibes Master, Chris Whilby, on Caribbean Vibes Radio. Keep it locked, and don't you touch that dial.
I am going home. King Jesus is waiting to meet me there. I've got a mansion prepared for me. Yes, I'm bound for glory. I am going home. I'm bound for glory. You know I'm going home. King Jesus is waiting to meet me there. Yes, I've got a mansion prepared for me. Yes, I'm bound for glory. I am going home.
Sister Jackie, good evening to you. Jackie Drisdale,
And stop
out of
backsliding.
New York City. I want to say good evening to you.
Hey, now, we'll be going home.
How is it going? How is it going in your neck of the woods right about now? How is it going in your neck of the woods? You know, we are having, I would like to say, an interesting winter so far. Very, very interesting winter we're having so far. We are at the 2nd day of February. And so far, we have not gotten any snow to speak of. We got some snow yesterday morning. People woke up to a little bit of dust, and people were like, oh, all the people who love snow started getting excited. Only to be disappointed by 9 o'clock. Because by 9 o'clock, it's as if it never came. We haven't gotten any snow. We are not very cold, which is a little bit disappointing for some people like me. It's not that I like the cold. I really don't. I hate the cold. I hate the snow. And there is a part of me that doesn't want it to snow, and there is a part of me that doesn't want it to get any colder. But at the same time, I'm going to give you a little secret, you see. I am praying secretly that it gets so cold that it starts to hurt some people. And when I say hurt some people, I mean I want some people's houses. Lord, I'm not going to say I'm wicked this time when I hear this. I would love for people's houses to start getting damaged by the cold. I want people's pipes to freeze up and break and damage their houses so that there is significant damage to the houses in and around my area. I don't care about people far away. I'm talking about people in and around my area. I would love it to get really, really cold. I would love for it to get somewhere just a little bit below zero. Just right about there, yeah. Where the pipes, especially the people who have money, you know, those people who have their second houses and big, huge houses, and they just lock them up and gone. I want those pipes to freeze and break, damage their house. And you ask me, Chris, why you asking a thing like that? I'm going to tell you. depend on. You see, I'm going to teach you a lesson here. Everything in life is interconnected, and my job, my day job, is to repair houses, repair damaged houses. The more of these damages is the more money I am going to make. If these things don't happen, if we don't have these disasters, I am not going to be making a lot of money. So you see what I'm talking about? If we continue at this temperature, sooner or later I'm going to be out of work. So a lot of my job depends on people's houses getting damaged badly, and we have to go in and gut it out and repair it, put it back on the market. So it's like we are the savior. So their houses get damaged, they call us, we go in, we fix it, we repair it as if nothing happened. And everybody is happy. The insurance takes care of it. And no, these people are displaced for a minute, but the insurance takes care of it. The insurance makes sure that they are well taken care. Lord, my bad, not true. What do things are bad? But it's just the truth. So I say all of that to say this. And again, I apologize for how my voice sound this evening. I sound awful, I know. I say all of that to say this. Everything in life is interconnected. So without people getting a lot of disaster happening to them, then my pocket will remain empty. So we need a little bit of that. So as much as I don't want the cold to come, I'm starting to pray for it to get a little bit colder, a little bit quicker before we end up into March, where it starts to warm up. Yeah? It's February. We want to see some cold. We need to see some cold, unfortunately. For those of you who don't like the cold, I'm sorry, but that's what I'm praying for. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to help pray with me that we get some very, very cold weather. All right? Carol's saying that I cannot wish evil on others in order of... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But without that, I am going to... That's my job. My job is to take care of these people when things get damaged. So are you telling me that I'm not supposed to pray for my family to eat food? That's how I eat food. So tell me if I am wrong. Anybody, tell me if I am wrong to pray, because in essence, if I'm going to be praying for more work to come in, I am obviously going to be praying. I may not say it, but I'm going to be praying for people's houses to get damaged in order for us to go in and repair it. That's the kind of work we do. So, Carol is saying, I cannot wish evil on others, which is interesting. In order for me to make money. She says that's an oxymoron. Oh, really? Is it really? Is it really? 8:34. 26 minutes. 26 minutes going up to 9 o'clock. Carol is ready. Ambassador Carol is ready to take me on. I know that. Sister Grace says, I am not... She says, it's not what I say, but it's how I say it. But she understands my point of view, but I need to fix it up better. So I'm asking the question, why should I, quote unquote, fix it up better. When in truth and in fact, that is exactly what I want. But you see, that is the thing about us, People, we want to always dress up things and be politically correct. Not true? When in truth and in fact, sometimes we just need for us say what we are say. I want some pipes to burst. I want some houses to get damaged. That is the bottom line of it. That's just, it doesn't matter how you slice it and dice it. That is what I want. So how am I supposed to dress it up now, Grace? Talk to me and tell me, how do you want me to dress it up? But why the people almost get damaged so that me can get some work? And that me want at the end of the day, so me don't know what I say. At the end of the day, that is all I want. Also damage, so me can get some work. And then I'll be the hero. Because, I can't go in myself. I'll go break up the people that always visit up. You have some people who create situations like they will create a fire and then they go in and out the fire and they are the hero. I can't do that. So I am relying on nature. I'm relying on Mother Nature to do that for me. But Mother Nature not doing it enough, so me have to pray to the Father to help me. So how am I wrong here? How am I wrong here to say that?
If the Lord been good to you, why won't you praise Him? If the Lord been good to you, why won't you praise Him? Yeah. If the Lord been good to you, why won't you praise Him? If the Lord been good to you,
Leaving to you, Brother Morgie. How are you doing? Good to have you.
evening, praise Him at any time. Praise Him in the morning, you praise Him in the evening. Praise Him at any time. Yeah, praise Him in the morning, praise Him in the evening. Praise Him at any time. Praise Him in the morning, praise Him in the evening. Praise Him at any time. Clap your hands and stamp your feet. Clap your hands and stamp your feet. Clap your hands and stamp your feet. Raise your hands and shout for joy. Praise Him, oh yes. Praise Him, oh yes. Praise Him, oh yes.
Sister Yvonne Carriage, good evening to you. Sister Yvonne, I'd love to see you on the YouTube channel. And I know you hang out sometimes over there on
All on His name, He will answer you, my friend.
on Facebook, but I would love to see you on the YouTube channel. Why won't you come on over to the YouTube channel? We would welcome you.
Everything I say
All the listeners over there will welcome you with open arms.
to Him, in everything, Jesus, 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 Jesus.
Hello, good evening, good evening, good evening. You're live on the radio.
Good evening, Mr. Chris.
Good evening.
No, sir. Me have to call in and stop you right there, sir.
Stop
right
me.
there, sir.
Stop me.
Full
Yes.
stop.
Okay.
Period.
Okay, all right.
The race.
All right.
Wheel.
All right. all right.
Wheel. Come again. No,
Mm.
sir. We
What-
cannot.
What did I
Cannot.
what did I do now?
We cannot ever wish bad for others and expect that good is gonna come to us.
No, but that exactly what happened. So
And also the Father work.
yes, man. I say Father Eric, man.
The
Yeah.
Father
Yeah.
allows natural calamities to reign on the good and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not our place
Mm-hmm.
as the little pian people that we are
Mm-hmm.
to be praying for evil, because remember now we know.
It's not evil. It's,
Yeah,
with us a prayer for
so
example. How is that evil? Explain that to me. With us a prayer.
Because
We are what I'm praying for is that we get a normal weather pattern, right? Which at this time of year would have been somewhere near zero or below zero. That's all I'm praying for, because with that comes carelessness, and people are going to do crazy things and allow them pipes to break their, you know what I mean, and damages are going to inevitably be done. And if we get some serious, what do you call it, snowstorms, the people who live close to the beach, their houses will be flooded and damaged, and then we just go in as the savior. And these people, you wouldn't know how these people appreciate us. You don't understand how it works. These people, when they see the work that we do, we get praises and we get some money in our pocket. What's wrong with that?
And what about the pocketbooks of those who are paying out the money?
Insurance.
What
I said
about
that. Insurance. No. Hold on.
Get damaged.
What
about the cost to them?
What cost to who?
To the people whose homes are damaged.
The insurance company takes care of all of that. Insurance. I am the. You serve insurance company? That is one company.
I'm sorry for the insurance company.
That's one company.
I'm sorry for the person.
I mean, these people normally get their lives back, and it's a little bit inconvenient, but that's all right. I mean, that's all right. A little bit of inconvenience won't kill anybody.
But we don't pray for evil.
It's not evil.
We don't pray for bad things to happen to
No, but you see,
because the person who is happening, it happens to. Is not looking at it as if it's a good thing. And God only blesses people. When you're praying to God, you want God to do good. You don't want God to do harm to people.
It's not. All right. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you it this way. Because I know it triggers, which I deliberately wanted it to trigger people. That's why I stated it that way. But the bottom line is, even if I fix it up nicely, the bottom line still remain that in the back of my head, that is what I want.
But you don't want to be a Pharaoh, Chris.
What?
Chris, the last plague that happened to Pharaoh.
No. Hold on.
Wait, let me finish here. The last plague came out of Pharaoh's own mouth. You don't want what you are wishing to happen to you, do you? Do you want your pipes to burst?
No.
Okay.
No,
but
and these people,
no,
what you're saying, these people, they don't want their pipes to burst either.
Right.
But it bursts.
So why would you pray for
but it bursts. Because if they're not, because if them pipe no burst, me no get no work. So you don't want me to eat food. You can't stay there.
What do they do unto others as you would want done to you?
Listen,
if you don't want your pipe to burst,
but Carol,
then you shouldn't want anybody else's pipe to burst.
But if I don't get if my pipes burst, all I have to do is go through the same process where them go through. Nobody want bad things to happen to them. But when it happens to you, all you do, you go and you fix the problem. Anyway, it's 8:44 and I have to go through this this thing here. So
okay.
Thank you very much for calling, all right?
All right, we'll continue this off the air.
Yeah, no problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 8:44 and Carol, I would love to pick up this conversation because Carol seemed to be triggered by that there. So I don't know if I am saying it. And I understand where she's coming from. I do. And I normally don't wish bad for people. I try not to. I try to be a good person. But in this case, if I don't get some damaged houses, how am I going to make money? Yeah? I need to make money. So that's the bottom line of it. So it's 8:45. We'll come back to this in a moment. It is now time for Issues Affecting Relationships. IAR. IAR is aired on Caribbean Vibes Radio Network every Thursday at 8:45 p.m. The views expressed are not necessarily those of the management and staff of the station. The information presented in this segment are for educational and entertainment purposes. Now here's your host, Chris Whilby. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 8:45, and I want to especially welcome those of you listening over there on Linkage Radio in the Bronx. Good evening to you and welcome. All right, so we are at that point. Issues affecting relationship, wife and husband. The wife says he dated a girl online. He says he loves me, but won't stop talking to her. I'd love to hear what you think about this afterwards. What's your take on this matter? I'm going to read the letter for you. It says, being determined to make a marriage work matters a lot in the long run, particularly once it's been more than 4 or 5 years and you need a relationship to stay strong. What do you do when you realize your spouse has emotionally engaged with someone else, though? Does that count as being disloyal, or is it something that can be forgiven since he didn't actually meet someone or do anything? My friend Andy has been married to her husband Jeremiah for 11 years. Yes, 11 years. They had one son together, and their marriage looked solid. They celebrated anniversaries, went out on dates at least twice per week, and everyone looked up to them as their quote-unquote ideal couple. As it turns out, what seemed like a solid marriage was actually slowly drifting away. Andy always trusted her husband and never tried to read his text or his emails. Still, one day, after speaking to one of her friends whose husband was talking to other women, she thought she should make sure Jeremiah wasn't doing anything unusual. I didn't think about looking through his phone until then, particularly since he always had it on a table or close to the sofa. It's not like he was hiding it or going somewhere else to write text. So I didn't give it much thought until that day. I took it. Then, while he was busy reading the newspaper, I knew that would take him at least half an hour. At first, there was nothing, no text showing anything. But then I went on social media. He was logged in everywhere, and I started reading the messages. Andy recalls. She went through several conversations that were friendly, but she eventually got to something different. It was hidden under a special category down on the page, but it caught my eye because of the person's name. Maddie was like no other name I'd seen, and I wanted to read that discussion. Sure enough, the friendly tone was gone, and it was all romantic. It was full of suggestions and declarations, and it even included specific dates to talk online, Andy said. She couldn't believe what she had discovered, and she said nothing at the time because she felt like maybe there was some other explanation. I didn't want to think what that meant to my marriage and how his promises were kind of gone as he said those words to someone else. It's true, there was no suggestion of actually meeting, but even at a distance, he was being romantic to another woman. Had he stopped loving me? Andy said. She decided to wait for a while and try to figure it out. If that conversation and the relationship that was behind it would end with no intervention on her part. Her husband, however, had no intention of stopping. He kept talking daily to the woman who lived in a different country, and the suggestions got more clearer every day. It was also apparent that he hadn't told her he was married and kept asking her to be his girlfriend. In the end, Andy concluded she had no choice but to tell him she knew everything and ask him to stop talking to the other woman. As she got ready to have that talk, She thought about all their anniversaries and questioned if he had been talking to other women even then. I just felt like maybe he hadn't been honest the whole time, not just when I found out about this woman. What if the only reason he was on social media was to connect to different women and have fun while being unfaithful to me and our marriage, she asked. As soon as she learned his wife was aware of what was going on, Jeremiah blamed her for the fact that he needed to talk to someone else. He also pointed out that it was just a conversation and that he hadn't actually met that woman. In his opinion, that meant he hadn't been dishonest. He treated it like it was just a bit of fun and nothing to get worried about. He even added that he did it because I wouldn't ever talk like that, and he needed to discuss his ideas about love with someone who had no limits and wouldn't tell him he was out of line. Despite all this, Andy still felt that something was missing and that he hadn't actually apologized for something she found hard to handle. She's still considering whether this would be enough to divorce him or if she could give their marriage another chance. This is further complicated by Jeremiah's refusal to end his talks with the other woman. He dated a girl online. He says he loves her but won't stop talking to her. Does that mean he's no longer in love with her? Does that mean he no longer cares? Is online fun important than their happiness? She questioned. They have argued about it several times, but Jeremiah keeps saying he won't be told what to do when he doesn't actually break any rule about his marriage. Talks don't count as disrespecting his wife in his opinion. Interesting one here. What do you think about this situation? Are online talks to make someone give up their marriage? Is it enough? Are online talks enough to make someone give up their marriage? Or does something need to happen for it to bring about the divorce? What's your take? What's the limit to talking to other people online? And can it be considered as being unfaithful? Was Jeremiah being unfaithful in this context? Give me a call. Let me know what your opinion is. 774-408-8860. Boy, I have no opinion on this one here. I just gotta leave it up to you guys to tell me what you think about this one here. It is now 8:53. The telephone line is open. You can give me a call. Let me know your take on the matter. And also on the situation why Carol called me and literally dust me out. Called me and dust me out. I shouldn't be wishing bad for people. Yeah, right.
Even though I don't deserve them, you still lavish them upon me. And that's favor. Your favor is upon me. Hallelujah, your favor is upon me, Lord. Your favor is upon me. Hallelujah, your favor is upon me, Lord. Favor, favor.
8:54. It is Thursday, Thankful Thursday, with the Vibes Master Chris Whilby here with you until 10 o'clock. Every Thursday, we do this. What's happening in your neck of the woods? This one here is from Sherwin Gardner featuring Jade.
I put all my trust and my faith in the Father. Trust in the Father. Faith in the Father. I am a servant of the Lord, but He is my Savior. He is my Savior. He is my Savior. What God give unto me, He give me. No man can take from me. Let me tell you plainly. Best still stay away from me. I'm standing tall to testify. Everything is done for I. If I did not give my life to Christ, so then I will surely die. Stand up.
So my Facebook page is now qualified for you to send me stars. Oh boy. We're stepping up in life, yeah? My Facebook page is now qualified for you to send me stars. Just so you know. Good evening to you, brother Trevor. Trevor Anthony Whilby Jones. Blessings, my brother. Good to have you on board. Thanks to you for sharing, my brother. Appreciate it much. And thanks to Ambassador Carol for sharing too. She said she shared it to 30 people. Thank you. Appreciate that. Number to call is 774-408-8860. I say again, 774-408-8860. 774-408-8860. All right. Let's continue.
DJ Mickey.
Let's continue. Hey.
Follow DJ Mickey on Twitter and Instagram.
Don't underestimate the power of your tongue. Little life is in the power of your tongue. So speak to your mountains now. Move.
Sister Grace says that cheating starts with a conversation. What's your opinion, ladies and gentlemen? The young man says that he doesn't see anything wrong with talking to this lady because they did not actually meet. They were just online talking. What's your opinion? Was it cheating? He doesn't believe it was. And he said that he is not going to stop. So his wife is now wondering, should she divorce him because of this? It's 9 o'clock. Caribbean Christian, big up on yourself.
Nothing wrong with dancing, but our culture, no ways rotating, no. Don't let the devil tempt you. Christian from the Caribbean and music is a part of our life. Yeah, we dance and raise flag, but we represent Jesus Christ. Can't promote no reveling, cause the Bible don't tell me them thing is sin. Used to do them thing before, but Jesus cleansed me from deep within. So no more party, no more drinking, no. Cause Jesus saved me, but me dance when the gospel hit me. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Don't hold me, let me dance. Don't hold me, let me dance. Oh yeah, let me dance to Jesus. Let me dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, yeah. Young and old, come along. Everyone can do it. No worry about nothing. It ain't got no age limit. Cause this party is heavenly. That's the problem gone away. It's a new kind of dancing. Can lead you to your healing. So get up and dance. Dance your problem them away. I know you've been waiting long, but your breakthrough is today. Forget about every negative thing. Get up and dance into your blessing. It might look confusing, but it's Caribbean Christian living. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Don't hold me, let me dance. Don't hold me, let me dance. Oh yeah, let me dance to Jesus. Let me dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, yeah. I say don't hold me, leave me, let me dance. Don't hold me, just leave me, let me dance. Let me go, let me go, let me dance. Let me go, just let me dance. Let me go, let me go, let me dance. Let me go, let me go, let me dance. Let me go, let me go, let me dance. I want to dance to Jesus, boy. Let me go, let me dance. Let me go, let me come on and dance your problem them away. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Don't hold me, let me dance. Don't hold me, let me dance. Oh yeah, let me dance to Jesus. Let me dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, yeah.
Our God is a consuming fire.
If you know that he is a jealous God, I wish to serve no other God but him. Help me sing. Somebody say fire, fire, fire. Oh, fire. Cause Holy Ghost fire deep down in my soul. Somebody say fire, fire, fire. Hey, fire, fire to rebuke Satan in Jesus' name. Somebody say fire,
Kay
fire.
Morris, and you are listening to Divine Praise with Chris Wilby on Caribbean Vibes Radio Network. Keep it locked.
Fire to rebuke Satan in Jesus' name.
Well, I guess you could say it's a Thursday evening Divine Praise, not true?
I got fire in my bones. I got fire in my bones. I can't keep it in.
Hey listeners, this is Dr. Kay Morris, and you are listening to the Vibes Master, Chris Wilby, on Caribbean Vibes Radio. Keep it locked, and don't you touch that dial.
Thank you.
Holy Spirit have
Thank you, Dr. K. Morris.
like a mighty rushing wind.
5 minutes after 9 o'clock.
Does the fire of God have
Listening in to Thankful Thursday.
somebody say fire, fire, fire.
The Big Bad DJ
Cause Holy Ghost
on the Big Bad station.
my soul.
Playing all the Big Bad songs.
Say fire, fire, fire. Hey. Fire to rebuke Satan in Jesus' name. Somebody say fire, fire, fire. Oh, fire. Cause Holy Ghost fire deep down in my soul.
Oh boy.
Somebody say
Fire. This one here is by Nisha Woods.
Satan in Jesus' name.
Fire.
Since we need the fire. To burn out iniquities. It can come and set me free.
All right, so we all go to. I'm going to give you some information that may or may not affect your life, right? So we know that a lot of us, we go to people's houses, and the isolation of the pandemic. Yeah, we're still talking about pandemic, not sure. It gave many of us a newfound appreciation for simple forms of socialization, like going to somebody's house. Because remember, we did lock up one night time and nobody that gone away and all of them things. But there are some do's and don'ts that you're supposed to follow, when you go to somebody's house. And I'm going to tell you about some things, the rudest things that you can do in someone else's house. Some of the rude things that some people do. And I'm going to start off with number 1, touching and moving things. When someone says, make yourself at home, they usually don't mean this literally. So, when somebody says, make themselves at home, don't just feel like you can just walk in the people and place and take it over. That's not what they mean, right? You should keep your feet off their furniture. And unless this is a close friend, you should not be opening the fridge without being asked to do so. You also need to wait for the host to give you the go-ahead to touch or interact with things you see. Until that happens, quickly ask for permission if something strikes you as fancy. Ask before touching an object or removing a book from a shelf. That's what Nick Layton is saying to you, and he is the etiquette expert of Where You Raise by Wolves podcast. Another thing is expecting a tour. Do not demand a tour of someone's home. Just don't do it. Wait to be invited by your host. Many people are happy to lead a little tour of their space when they invite people over. But that isn't true of everyone at all times. And your host doesn't offer a tour. If your host doesn't offer a tour, don't take it upon yourself to give yourself one either. Don't take a tour of the house unless you are encouraged by the host to wander around. It's just not a great look. Overstaying your welcome. Oh boy, a lot of us do that. Know when it's time to leave. Urge Layton. The number one complaint we hear from hosts is about guests who overstay their welcome. You might still be enjoying your nightcap or get the sense everyone is having a great time chatting. But pay attention to the host body language and suggest that those who want to continue hanging out relocate elsewhere. If your hosts have changed into their pajamas, or if you notice them start cleaning up, I know that one. Once you see them change into their pajamas or they start cleaning up, they're sending you a message. Or if you notice the hosts start nodding off, yeah, you know that, hey, it's time for me to go. Hiding a mess. Unfortunately, things happen when you're in another person's house. You might accidentally spill red wine on the carpet or knock over a lamp. Don't ignore or try to hide it. If you break something or even just finish the roll of toilet paper, it is best to let your host know as quickly and quietly as possible. Snooping. Boy, oh boy, you have some people love to do that. Some people only got people yard figure snoop. You don't know that one. Some people only go there figure snoop. Refrain from peeking in cabinets and cupboards. Of course, it's natural to be a little bit curious, and we have seen this exact behavior in countless movies, but resist the urge to look inside the medicine cabinet in the bathroom. Beware that some hosts put glass marbles in their medicine cabinets to catch snoopers in the act. The marbles will ping around the bathroom and make a lot of noise for your host and all other guests to hear. So once you go near a home, that is going to tell them that you are snooping. So don't you do that. It's just not a nice thing to do, and especially in people's medicine cabinets. I have a story that I tell you, man. Somebody I was working with once went into somebody's medicine cabinet and looked on the people, them things, and when I heard that the person did that, I blew a gasket, and person almost got fired because I don't take kindly to such things. So those things you just don't do that. Waiting to share dietary restrictions. If you have been invited for a meal, any dietary restriction should be shared well in advance and not when you sit down at the table. Don't just expect the meal to be vegan friendly or not contain any of all your allergens. Tell the host as soon as possible about your limitations and stick to the actual limitations, not what you prefer. This one here now is a part of my pet, is a what I call it, pet peeve. Disrespecting shoe rules. I have a fetish so I don't know. When it comes to shoes and the rules, I get peeved. As my friend Carol likes to say, pet peeve. Shoes on or off tends to be very individual specific. I don't like people walking in my house in their shoes. I just don't like the idea. And you have to understand that, and I get it, that sometimes once you have these get together, everybody's not going to take off their shoes. So I get it. I mean, I am not, But if you do take off your shoes, I don't want to see the shoes fling all about the place. I want the shoes in a nice little corner somewhere. Don't just take off your shoes and throw it somewhere or whatever. Right? What this one says here, disrespecting shoe rules. Whatever it is, you're not supposed to do that. Shoes on or off tends to be very individual specific. Smith noted rather. Listen to what your host prefers. It's understandable why many people prefer not to track the dirt and germs of the outside world into their homes when possible. Be prepared to remove your shoes if asked. Throw a pair of socks on or slippers in your bag if you don't like being barefoot and think you might be headed to a no-shoe household. So those are some things that you can think about the next time you are invited somewhere. The shoes thing. A lot of people don't mind you walking into their houses, but I prefer you to take off your shoes. But if you come and you say everybody else not taking off their shoes, it means that I'm allowing everybody. Because once you leave, I am going to disinfect from corner to corner. Because shoes, you have to remember, shoes carry germs. Even your clothes from outside, your clothes that you wear from outside, carry germs. There are certain places I don't allow people don't come into my bedroom. You come in, my bedroom is off limits. I don't, period, end of story. But your outside clothes, it's limited to, certain areas. But people, once you go in a bedroom, because some people don't understand that, that you see your clothes where you wear outside, you pick up a lot of germs, especially if you go in public transportation, picks up a lot of germs, and you transport that germs to your houses. So, sitting in a couch, going in a bedroom, some people go and lay down all in them bed in them outside clothes. No, man, that's a no, man. That's a no. You can't do that. You can't wear your clothes, go to work, and come back and sit on your bed in that. No. You're taking all kinds of germs to your bedroom. Take off the clothes, throw them in the wash before you edit. You know, the pandemic has taught us a lot of things, but some of us have already gone back to our old ways, you know. Yeah, the pandemic did teach us a whole heap of things where we did that wrong. But some people just revert back because them say old habits die hard. That's all. 16 minutes after 9 o'clock. Those are things that you should try to practice. Maybe. What do you think?
Somebody say fire, fire, fire. Oh, fire. God's Holy Ghost fire deep down in my soul.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Sister Carol says, what if the person have stink toes? I can't deal with that one. That's why people have on socks. Your toes are gonna stink so much that that other people are gonna smell it through the socks. If you have that problem, you have a very serious problem. Yeah, and ain't nobody can help you with that. You're not supposed to be going to anybody's houses if that is your problem. Trust me.
Give us your fire, okay. Total surrender. Burn deep within. Oh Lord, purify us, unify us. Holy Spirit, have your way. 'Cause the fire of God hot enough to burn up the darkness. Clap your hands with me. Help me shake the fire. Oh, send the fire, send the fire, send the fire. Holy Ghost fire, send the fire on this nation. Send the fire on the region. Send the fire. Open government. Send the fire. And into parliament. Send the fire on the children. Send the fire. Generation. Send the fire. Generation. Send the fire. Send the fire. Send the fire. Holy Ghost fire. Send the fire. And then your fire. Send the fire. Send the fire. Send the fire.
We serve a mighty God, mighty, 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 mighty. We serve a mighty God, mighty, 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 mighty. Oluwa is mighty, oh, He might heal sickness in my body. We serve a mighty God, mighty, 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 mighty. Do you want a physician? He will give you a prescription and tell you the dosage might be fed like a mustard seed mixed with praises. Just believe the master, no deal in a counterfeit disaster. Run away from Obia, man. Jesus is the only plan. Boy, we serve a mighty God, mighty, 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 mighty. We serve a mighty God, mighty, 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 mighty. Oluwa is mighty, oh, He might heal sickness in my body. We serve a mighty God, mighty, 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 mighty. Superstar. Him said this is the bread of the children. We are all with Rafa. Diseases must bow down at the mention of His holy name. The blood of Jesus intervention, boy. We serve a mighty God, mighty, 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 mighty. We serve a mighty God, mighty, 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 mighty. Oluwa is mighty, oh, He might heal sickness in my body. We serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 supernatural healer, mighty, mighty, all who some to control.
Hear my cry, oh Lord. 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. It is Thankful Thursday. Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to those of you listening over there in Manchester, Jamaica. I want to give a special shout out to my friend, Mr. Vassal, Mr. Patrick Vassal. Good evening to you, sir. My comrade friend. How are you doing? Mr. Leon Nash and the crew, NRP Media JA, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night. Because I know that somebody is going to be listening back to this program, whether it be morning, noon, or night. So when you say good evening and they're listening to it in the morning, oh, that's on. You say good evening to you, and somebody's listening back to this program. Say next week, Thursday morning, they're listening back to it on YouTube. So maybe we should just say, how'd it do to you? Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, those of you on the YouTube channel, let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me give you a shout out, alright? I'd love to give you a shout out. New York Massive, Connecticut. You have some people over there in Bridgeport, yeah? Good evening to you, Bridgeport. Hartford, Connecticut. That's where my good friend Freddie Ranger is from, Hartford. Ronnie Lou is from Bridgeport. Good evening to you, Ronnie Lou. Master Ron, look up yourself, bro. It is indeed a beautiful day. Doesn't matter what situation you woke up with this morning. You're still here. It is indeed a beautiful, beautiful day. It's a beautiful Thursday.
So another day I live, I appreciate.
Another day we live. Gotta appreciate it, right? Thankful Thursday on the Big Bad Station.
On my face. So in everything, Lord, I give you praise. And that puts a smile on my face. Lord, I thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. Thank you for joy. Thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. Don't wiser, got to work harder. In the end, it will get better. Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Please don't fuss and fight. Let us unite. We got the light, so let's make it right. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. If you got life, then give God praise. You may not have much, but you're living day by day. You can have faith and don't want to work. Get up off that seat and put that brain to work. Hey, hey, it's a beautiful day. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Hey, it's a beautiful day. It may not be the way I want it to be, but I thank you for every situation that made me good and bad friends that came into my life, and those who are still here today. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day, beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
It is indeed a beautiful, wonderful, magnificent day.
Let us unite.
29 minutes after 9 o'clock. All right, so we know that if you have been following the news down there in Jamaica, you would have known that the governing Jamaica Labour Party, they're trying their best to get a handle on crime situation, and they're trying all kinds of different legislation. They're rolling out different legislations in Parliament to see how much they can curb crime. Now, there is a piece of a video I'm going to share with you on how the government is to address crime concerns surrounding stopping at red lights at night, because the government has come out with some very, very stiff penalties for motor vehicles. Very, very stiff penalties. Because, excuse me, as we know that Jamaican drivers are very, very indisciplined. A lot of indisciplined driving. So that is one area in which the government is trying to work. And they and the opposition are working together to come up with some solution. Now, I'm going to play a piece of clip for you. And I'm going to have a discussion after that. Let me turn this volume up here. See if I can get there.
Of breaches. The provision in the Act for electronic detection of breaches, well supported. However, there's a real problem that we have to be mindful of. There are certain sections of the country, especially in some of the urban areas, in Kingston, in Spanish Town, in Montego Bay, nobody not stopping at 2 o'clock in the morning, and an electronic detection of an offense might very well be in place to tell ordinary Jamaicans, in light of the level of crime and violence in the country and some violent hotspots or areas which are clearly vulnerable, right? For us as a country, and I deliberately say as a country and not as a government, because I'm saying that we must collectively take ownership of this, to tell ordinary Jamaicans, and that we call some of the areas, but we know where those areas are, to tell a Jamaican that they must stop there at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock a.m. to wait on a traffic light to change, when the rest of the place is have no traffic, is deserted, is a hard ask.
I think that the issue of late night is something I'll have to discuss with the Minister of National Security, right? To see what kind of realistic approach could be taken to have, not to encourage lawlessness, right? But as you say, you could have flashing lights, you could have the light, on a particular thing. So when it's blinking, it means that if it is clear, you can go ahead. I've seen that in other countries. So that is something that can be examined by the Ministry of National Security.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So the issue that I have, with this approach is that this bill was years in the making. And that's why Jamaica can't be tied now. Because we don't have people who are thinking. This bill was years in the making. Years. I hear them talking about this new Road Traffic Act. This was, I think, from Portia Simpson Miller was in government. So it's been a while since they were thinking and drafting and putting in things in the bill. Both sides of the aisle. And they rolled it out. They rolled it out recently. Only to know debating in Parliament about a specific part of the bill wherein we know Jamaica and we know that certain areas, when it touch certain areas at night, ain't nobody stopping at no red light. You slow down, you look and you cut and you go through. That's just how it is. Ain't nobody gonna stop there. And even if you're going to charge them $1 million, they're not going to stop. And these guys who are now talking about they're going to look into it, they put that provision into the bill. Where were they with all of this? Now that they're suggesting that maybe after certain hours, you put a flashing light. Because what they're doing now, what they're saying now, that they're going to put some electronic monitoring. And if you pass that red light, you're going to automatically get a ticket. If you break the red light, you're going to get a ticket in the mail. And that's a serious thing. Nothing is wrong with that. But when you know, as if you're just knowing about it, so what they are saying now is that, maybe we need to go back and revisit that part of it. What we could have never revisited from before and put it out to the public and saying, this is what going to happen. And now Fitzjackson, and by the way, what happened to Adlishaw voice? Why he can't get back in voice? Adlishaw is as old as time and he's still in Parliament, I tell you. Anyway, so that is that. So I am expecting that they are going to change that sooner rather than later, because nobody is going to stop at those red lights, no matter what the situation. It no matter if they're going to get $1 million ticket, they are not going to stop at those red lights after certain hours. What they're going to do, they're going to slow down. So after what rational people are saying is, make these lights after certain hours, make them become like a stop sign. So you have a flashing red light so that if nobody is, if the road is clear, you slow down or you stop for a second and you go through. That's what it is supposed to be. So I hope they correct that part of it. But boy, oh boy, we not like how we do business in Jamaica at all. Hello, good evening. You're live on the radio.
Good evening, Mr. Whilby. I had to call again. I need to talk about this red light thing because I just had the conversation before your show.
Okay.
The only thing I want to add is I think also that one of the things that started, normally people don't stop that late at night, but remember there was a time too when people were being robbed at stoplights when they stopped. And that even increased the fear at stopping at these stoplight late at night.
Right.
So I don't understand why they would put in this law about ticketing people before they even are able to address the crime that happens, that had been happening when people stop at stoplight. Because, a lot of people, first of all, it doesn't really make sense to be stopping at the stoplight at that late time of night if no other traffic is coming.
Right.
So
It's like you're a sitting duck.
Exactly. It's like you're a sitting duck, and it will cause these criminals to want to lay wait to you if you have to stop. So I do like the idea of the traffic light being used as a stop sign after certain hours when they can do study to see when the least traffic is on the road, maybe after 2 a.m. when parties are over and stuff like that, and then they can say 3 going on, you just use it more like a stop sign mentality as opposed to a stoplight mentality. So I wanted to say that real
and I appreciate that because that is the contention, because Jamaicans are lawless, but at the same time, they're not dumb and they're not stupid, and they will adjust. So a lot of them, the ones that are really lawless, when these penalties come out, they make a whole lot of noise, but the noise is gonna go away. You know what I mean? And people are going to start obeying the rules. Because once you hit them in the pocket, they are going to adjust. There is no question about it. So I like the idea of putting some teeth into these laws. But at the same time, we have to be practical. And it's definitely not practical to tell people that somewhere down in West Kingston, you're passing through, and at night, some people don't even want to pass through those areas necessarily, but sometimes you don't have a choice. But you're passing through, and you are at a red light, and you are going to stop and wait for people to just come up and do whatever. That's just not going to work. So I hope that. But and one of the issue I have to is that this law they didn't just make this law last week. This law was being debated and amended and for years, and they didn't see this. Nobody saw it until they roll it out, and now they're coming to, it doesn't make us look good.
It's similar to the one about the car seat.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, go ahead with that one. Yeah, I like the public because some people might not know.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I'm speaking from hearsay, and I don't like to speak from hearsay. I like to read things for myself. But if what I heard is true, and they're saying that kids are, under a certain age should be in a car seat in the public taxis and stuff like that. Now, we know that these taxi guys are picking up passengers for a living. And we know that if you put a car seat in with a child, that's a fear that he's going to lose, because most of the time the kids are not going to be paying full fare. So obviously what's going to happen now is these taxis, in fact, this I did see where the lady had her daughter and no taxi guy would pick her up. because they're going to lose a fare if, plus they're going to fine them, they say, if the kids are not in car seats. And the question is, why didn't you provide something, some transportation for these kids before you implement that rule? The rule is good if there is a way that the children can get to school. So if you don't have school buses or anything to get these children to school, why put in a rule like that? Does that make sense to you?
I saw it. It is true. It's hearsay on your part, but it is true. It's in the law, and I think that again, you see, one of the things with us as Jamaicans, we always want to emulate other countries, and we want to follow, and we are not doing things that is practical and applicable to our situation in Jamaica.
Correct.
That is a ridiculous, nonsensical rule for a taxi operator. It is just a non-starter. You cannot tell a taximan, as you say, who is carrying passengers for a living, and the more passengers you carry is the more money you go make, to tell them to retrofit their car with a taxi, with a car seat. Which part in Jamaica you gonna find any taxi man go do that? If me that Jamaica, me not do that with my car. So me not carrying a pitney. It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
It is as simple as that. I am not carrying any child because I'm not going to do that. So the people who are, again, it comes down to who the heck are making these rules and making these laws and think that this is going to sell to the entire public. I don't understand it. These are the things that make you want to pull out all your hair when you don't have any hair. Correct.
And you said it best, emulating the first world status, which is, if you provide an alternative, then I say yes, safety first, whatever. But you're going to say safety first if you cannot expect a taximan is going to give up his ability to make an extra dollar for that child. So you would have to provide something different for the child and allow the taximan to continue taking the adults. Yeah. And that is the thing. It's just, to me, I call it a telescopic view of doing things. You're just looking at one aspect, the safety aspect, but you're not looking at is that feasible for the country that I'm in. And another thing is a car seat is like 40,000 Jamaican dollars. How many poor people in Jamaica can really afford that car seat?
Listen,
are they going to provide car seats? It's not complete.
It's just not. And while I would say the idea itself is a good one, the application of it, right? They need to revisit it, think it through, and scrap it. So it means, therefore, that the legislation that they spent years developing wasn't even ready to be rolled out to the public, and that is so sad, because they have been hamping up the rollout of this legislation for years. We've been talking about the new Road Traffic Act that is going to come into effect, and one of the reasons why they say it did not come out before now is because they wanted to make sure that they didn't have this kind of bumbling when they come out. No, you can't tell me no. If they went over this thing with a fine-tooth comb, and this is the best that they can come up with, we are in trouble.
Not good.
We are in trouble, because what are these parents who depend on taxi for their children? What are they going to do? It doesn't make sense, because number one, listen to this. You have some taxis, we carry children alone to school. So what am I do? How that work? Tell me, explain to me. How that work? You go retrofit your car with fewer car seats for what?
But there is a video. What made it sad is there is indeed a video that I did see where the mother is with her daughter.
Right, and no taxi. Nobody wanted to. And the guy was,
So now the kid is losing an education because of this rule. And like we say, it's premature. It's not completely. They did not examine all the ramifications.
Exactly, they didn't think it through.
They rolled it out, and it just not feasible right now.
You make them look.
But I'm gonna let
them look idiotic. That way. That's why.
Exactly.
Thanks for the call, Carol.
You're welcome, and feel better. Feel better.
Yeah, please. I'm trying all kind of things.
Florida is 78 degrees, just let it be enough.
70 how much?
Jacksonville is like 78 degrees right now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm putting on my shorts and I have my fan on.
With it. I don't grudge you.
All right,
have a good night.
Take care. All
right. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So that is the crux of the matter with this bill that they have rolled out. They have, and I saw the video that Carol is talking about. I saw it making the rounds on social media where this young lady and her parents, she just, no taxi would carry her. There's also another one. We're coming up to the top of the hour. It's 9:51. There's also another one making the rounds. It's about I'm going to play this one for you. So let me see if I can bring this up here and give you the information as we
have. You got them and cut out learners. But with the riders now, there's one person we have to carry. And so. But what about when we come for you as a gentleman or a young lady we have to come for and when you have a baby? How you go? That is it. We want to find out. This job, this what we're doing, I will look living, We don't have an next work here now, Remember saying, me my bike taxi stop running, Several of people, I feel the pain in terms of you have people who travel on the staff bus to come home at night time, like 12:30 and 1 o'clock to reach home. Remember, you don't have car, you don't have vehicle, which is car, on the road to carry them home. And certain areas, vehicle cannot go there. You have like bike, which is a motorcycle, to take them there. You understand? You understand why government come down so hard on us, but at the same time, the good cannot always suffer the bad. Right. Understand, you have good riders out here, but at the same time, good cannot always suffer for the bad. One thing we learned, whenever poor people try to do something to make a living, the government always try to step inside of it and take it over and take it away from us.
All right, so that's sound here coming from the Jamaica Gleaner, where they're saying that bike taxi operators in Westmoreland say changes to the Road Traffic Act, which took effect yesterday, would adversely impact their livelihoods. Among other things, the motorcyclists are now required to have only one pylon, and bikers must obtain a license. They are also required to wear helmets. And the operators, you heard them there complaining. Now for this one here, I have no problem with this one, I really don't have that's why I say there are some good in the law, but there are some things that they still need to go back and iron out. Like for this one, they need to wear a helmet. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And they're talking about bike taxi. I didn't even know that was a thing until recently, believe me. I had no idea that you had bike taxi in Westmoreland, in Jamaica. So, but I hear that some parts of Westmoreland, it's one of the it's a thriving business. But they're talking about picking up somebody with a child. And I'm like, hold on. So no carry more than one person on the bike? I never know that. It's weird. So I had no idea. I had no idea that one, bike taxi was a thing until recently, and two, that them expect to carry what 2 and 3 persons on a bike. How that part I'd work, I don't know, but that's another issue right there. But they are complaining, but I guess they will get up to speed with that part of it, because and then the mufflers, they're also saying that the mufflers on these, they call them yang bikes, they have to sort it out and stop make the bike they make whole heap of noise, because they are going to be charged a lot of money for that. Alright, so we are coming up to the end of the program. I want to say thank you to everybody. It's 9:55. Thank you everybody who logged on. It's been a pleasure having you. Thankful Thursday. We do this every Thursday, starting at 8 o'clock, right after Lady D, Denise Gomez. It's a very hard act to follow, you know. But we do our best, not true?
Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is all.
Tomorrow is Friday, and tomorrow is the official beginning of the end of the week, right?
I met this old man. He was so poor, didn't hold no bed, so we slept on the floor.
He's hoping that you can have a fantastic weekend.
We're smiling, never heard him come.
I'll be back here on Sunday
He said that proving God
at 6 o'clock.
again.
Make it a date and don't it dare be late.
The sun
From 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock Sunday evening, the Divine Praise, the Divine Praise Gospel Show. Hoping that I get my voice back by then, my proper voice. Doesn't know you me mix up my horse.
God is always there for me. No matter what the
No matter what the circumstances, always remember that God is always there.
God is always there for me.
And somebody will say, as long as you have life, you have hopes. That's what we say in Jamaica, right? As long as there's life, there is hope. So I'm hoping and trusting that you will be back here with me on Sunday, alright? In the meantime, don't forget that we're always live, 24/7 radio at www.caribbeanvibesradio.com. It's Caribbean with a K.
No matter what the circumstances, baby.
Caribbean Vibes, VIBEZ or VIBEZ Radio Network on YouTube. Those of you who have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'm inviting you to do so. And don't forget that we have a radio app. We have a radio app you can download and take us with you everywhere you go, 24 hours per day. The radio app is Caribbean Vibes Radio Network. Go to Google Play Store, download the app, and take us with you. In the meantime, in between time, my name is Chris Whilby, and this has been Thankful Thursday. Have a good night. Oh, God.
So we slept on the floor. He's always smiling. I never heard him complain. He said I've proven God again and again. So no matter what the circumstances may be, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. Hear the worshipers! Where's all of my praises? I want everybody around the world to put your hands together, because all the praise belongs to God. Here we go. Every praise is to our God. Every word of worship. With one accord. Every praise is to our God. Sing hallelujah to our God. Glory, hallelujah.
praise.